Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here. I know I've said this in a couple of videos already, but we've been talking a lot about the upcoming offseason, 2022 offseason. It's going to be a banger. It's going to be fun. Offseason and roster moves and theory crafting and all that stuff is some of my favorite stuff to talk about, some of my favorite stuff to cover, and some of the videos that perform best on my channel. So obviously, I'm incentivized a little bit to talk more about that stuff. But at the end of the day, I do this because I am a huge League of Legends fan. I'm a huge esports fan. I'm a huge gaming fan. And the biggest event in esports, the biggest event in gaming, the biggest event in League of Legends is without a doubt the League of Legends World Championships every single year. 2021 World is right around the corner. And this year, it's a little bit more exciting because Faker is back at Worlds. He is the biggest name, the biggest face, the biggest brand in all of esports and all of League of Legends esports, whatever. And you know, he's been talking a little bit about what's going to happen at this Worlds. People are very curious to see how he's going to do, how T1's going to do. Is this going to be his last chance to have a real strong shot at Worlds? How's he going to match up against the other mid laners, the other best players in the world? This might be the best mid lane pool we've ever seen at the World Championships. And yeah, Faker kind of gives some of his thoughts and opinions. That's what we're going to be talking about in this video today. So definitely drop a like if you guys do enjoy it. I would appreciate it so much. Subscribe to stay up to date on all my latest content, and consider checking out my Patreon, patreon.com/IamGerm, to help support me, my channel, and my content just a little bit extra, you know, a little something more. With that being said, let's get right into this one. So the main thing I wanted to talk about today was this article from Invin Global, where they said the headline here is Faker, I want to meet the LPL teams and fight them. That is just a badass quote. You know, Faker always gives the most like deadpan, straightforward quotes. He's always really intense. He does have some fun. You know, he laughs and jokes around just like everybody else, but he is serious. This is a businessman. This is a competitor. He is ready to go, and he thinks the games will be interesting if they play aggressively. Now, I think that's a funny quote because he's saying if the LPL plays aggressively, the games are going to be interesting. You know, the LPL teams are going to play aggressively. You know they're going to make for interesting games. But the question is, how is T1 going to respond to that aggressiveness? How is Faker going to respond to that? And how is Faker's team going to respond to that? And are those games going to be interesting? Are they going to be interesting because the LPL is running them over and stomping them? Are they going to be interesting because they're close? Are they going to be interesting because T1 and Faker are going to step up to the challenge? That's what we're going to find out of this Worlds, and that is what is going to be so interesting. The storylines when it comes to Faker and T1 and World Championships are always so compelling. So in this article, they talk a little bit about how Faker is coming back to this Worlds. Right now, he has been to Worlds 5 times. This is crazy. 5 World Championship appearances. He has 3 titles, 1, finals appearance where he didn't win the title, and then 1 semifinals appearance. Faker has never gotten knocked out before the semifinals at Worlds, which that is a crazy stat. And that could all change this year. I haven't really seen a lot of people ranking T1 in the top 4 at Worlds. Obviously, it'll depend on the group they get. It'll depend on the quarterfinals draw they get if they do make it out that far. But this is going to be a tough Worlds. This is going to be deep with 4 LPL teams. Mad Lions coming in looking good. PSG Talon's going to be in the mix. Obviously, Damwon's going to be good. It's going to be tough to even make it out of groups, let alone, make it to semis, let alone make it to the finals, let alone win this thing. T1, and Faker, historically, they've been a strong team. They've been big favorites. They've been big favorites to at least make it to the semifinals, if not make it to the finals, if not win the whole thing. But obviously, this year is different. Faker did share his resolution for the Worlds. They say here, it's not a chance it comes often. He's going to do his best and give all that he has. He really wants to win the whole thing. But he also thinks it's important to research and analyze as many champions as possible heading in. Obviously, he has a massive champion pool. That's never been an issue for Faker. But the big thing here, the big difference this year as compared to maybe some years for T1 is that T1 has several rookies or people that don't have as much international experience. T1 historically was this team that was going to Worlds every single year, competing for titles every single year. And this is a different look T1. Faker is the familiar face. So they have, obviously, Canna, Gumayusi, and Wunner that haven't been to Worlds yet. And it's only the 2nd World Championship for Cuz, Teddy, and Keria. So this is really all on Faker's back. He is the veteran here. He is the international veteran. He is the world champion of this team. He really needs to lead this team. And also at some of these other World Championships, he's clearly been the best mid laner in the world. And now I don't think anyone even says he's the best mid laner in Korea. Showmaker has been a beast. Doinb is out there being a monster. There is some legitimate mid laners that are going to be at this tournament. It is going to be a scary, scary mid lane. It's going to be scary, scary teams that T1 is going up against. There's going to be so many people rooting for T1 and Faker, but there's also so many people that just root to see T1 and Faker lose as well, because some of us, a lot of us came up as League of Legends fans in that era where T1 dominated. So people hated, seeing the same team win every year, the same team be at the top every year, the same players be at the top every year, and people wanted to see them fall. And people just kind of, fell in love with rooting against Faker and rooting against T1. And that's kind of where all the, the polarity comes in, and why Faker is so interesting, because so many people love him, so many people hate him, so many people just are going to tune in either way just to see what happens and see what crazy thing happens, because Faker winning is crazy, somebody beating Faker is crazy, and then obviously T1 is a massive brand as well. So about this matter, Faker did express that he would show his leadership by saying if there are any internal non-game issues that could affect their performance, he would need to keep the team's balance as the captain, which that's really, really cool. That's awesome that Faker is taking up that captain reign, that leadership role, which I definitely think he needs to do. And I hope, the rest of his team really embraces that and really, listens to him and is able to feed off of his, just the energy he's given off and what he's able to say. And then, at the end here, Faker does talk about the LPL being the region he wants to meet. He says he wants to meet the LPL teams and fight them. It's a competitive region, and I think the games will be interesting if they play aggressively, and that is going to be so, so cool. Now, I know a lot of my viewers are Western viewers. Maybe a lot of people don't know what happened in the LCK this year, so I wanted to go over T1's season real quick. In the summer split, they went 11-7 in matches, and they went 25-19 in games. This was best. This was good enough for fourth best in the LCK, so, they weren't dominant, they weren't amazing, but they were solid. I mean, look at this, how close the standings are. There was 6 teams that went 11-7 or better, and the first place team only went 12-6. So everyone was really, really there. The regular season was very competitive. In the playoffs, T1 did beat Sandbox 3-0, but then beat Gen G 3-1 before losing 3-1 to Damwon in the finals. Again, Damwon is a very, very good team. They seem to clearly be the best team in Korea. So not a lot of people are giving T1 too much crap for that, but still, if you want to be the best team in the world, you got to start by being the best team in your region. Not that you need to win your region before Worlds, but you need to be able to beat Damwon at minimum, even if you think if you think Korea is the best region in the world, you still got to be the best team in Korea at this World Championship. And right now, it seems like they're a little ways away from that. In the regional qualifiers, this is like the gauntlet or whatever, T1 did beat Hanwha Life 3-2 to make it to the main event, while Hanwha Life will be going to the play-in. So that's how things look for T1 this year. Overall, they were pretty solid. They performed well in the playoffs. They ended up winning the gauntlet. They had a fine regular season, but they're not dominant. They're not clearly the best team in Korea. A lot of people don't even think Korea is the best region in the world anymore. So things could be tough for T1. So it'll be interesting to see T1 and Faker face a little adversity at an international tournament. Maybe be in a position we've never seen them before, as more of an underdog role. And we'll see how Faker, takes that role up. See how he performs in that role and see how the whole T1 team is able to perform in that role as well. But either way, it's going to make for some very, very compelling League of Legends action, and I'm definitely going to be tuning into as many T1 games and as many Worlds 2021 games as I can, and I'm so, so excited, and I hope you guys are too. But definitely drop a like if you guys did enjoy this video. I would appreciate it so, so much. Leave a comment down below. How do you think T1 is going to do at this Worlds? Do you see them as a top 4 team, a top 8 team, the best team? I would love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe to stay up to date on all the latest content. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace!